Hey, Jeremy, are you there? Anyone? Anyone? Hey, Jeremy, can I ask you a question? Can you unmute yourself?
How's your mom holding up? A lot of pain with her shingles in her back and her leg. She's had it for about 8 weeks. Which brother?
Tassos, what are you doing?
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. My wife is gonna be on in a few minutes,
Oh, okay.
so I have to join the meeting and to see what Beth gonna do.
I
Why are you laughing?
don't know, just it's kind of funny.
So
I thought you would be serving right now.
I have to go, sir, but I have to put everything up for Beth to be ready. So I think
Yeah.
she's ready to go. I don't need to do anything else, huh?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Perfect. I talk to you in a few after I finish with the Rotary.
yeah, no problem, man.
Have you ever, Kevin? Have you ever met my wife, Beth?
Yeah, we talked a few times. A couple years ago, I think I met her originally.
So he's just,
He's
is
got to
is
set to
he in
go.
the meeting?
Yes, he's on a meeting
All
too.
right, I'll be down in a minute.
What? We have another 10 minutes, Kevin, huh?
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
I can leave it open.
Yep. Yeah, you can hit the mute button if you want.
Huh?
You can hit the mute button. So
I need to find out where's the mute button.
on the top right of your screen there, there's like a blue, should be like a blue thing.
He's on an iPad.
Hover over a mouse.
That's a hand.
Mute.
Oh, that's all right. There you go. You got it. Now you're muted.
Kevin,
Yes.
we're not, I mean, we don't have to be here at 7.
Well, we start the meeting at 7. Where are you on the agenda?
We're a
Preliminary.
preliminary, what is it, Tasso?
Yep.
It's
Preliminary
any
discussions.
discussion, site modification.
Okay. I mean, probably like 10 minutes in,
Oh,
you
okay,
know, depends on how quick we go through the order here, but,
okay, perfect, thank you.
okay. Jeremy, you there?
I am at the moment.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Sure.
For my deck, I'm wondering if I need a permit for that, because I'm gonna have an overhead roof. Do I need a permit for that or no?
Was it on the original plan or no?
Yeah, the deck is, yeah.
So if the deck is on the original plan, then I don't think you'll need anything separate. But if you're putting a roof
Okay.
over the structure that you didn't have before, then you'd need a permit for that.
Okay, can you just send me the form for that and I'll fill it out?
Yeah.
Or somebody from your
Yeah.
office?
If you would, because I will not remember this,
Yep.
just shoot me an email to that effect.
Okay,
All right.
yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
Jeremy? Are you there? Hello, Roland.
Hello, Jim.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
can. Yep.
I didn't know if I was muted or unmuted, but I see the little box down there.
I was muted. I just turned it on. So how's it going?
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jim, I'm here. I heard you from the other room.
Okay. I just had a question that was, how long do we plan to have these, this type of meeting, you know, the Zoom meetings? Is it gonna go to the end of the year?
Hard to say. The council, I think, is planning to have an in-person meeting at their next meeting on the 8th. And after that, I think we might be able to go in person with you all, and the public would be via Zoom.
Okay.
But somewhat undetermined, but we may be in person or in some kind of hybrid mode in October if all goes well.
Okay.
And that's a big if and a big maybe.
All right.
Good evening. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Ray?
Not too bad. Just seeing if I can get a copy of the agenda printed out on my computer here. Sounds like it. Okay.
Looks like it.
How was that Kleenex? I hope that was good. Okay, so it looks like we're back in business. Move that to there. Good evening, Kevin. I see you're with us. Jim. Hi, Roy.
How you doing, Ray?
Good evening, Ted, Meg, Angelus.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, let's see what else we've got going on here. Okay. Communications liaison. Okay.
Hey, Ray, Jake is here, but he's not going to vote tonight.
I'm sorry, who is?
Jake is here, but he's not going to
Oh,
vote.
he's not going to vote tonight? Okay.
No.
I've got Penny over here too, so.
I just put the computer down there. I don't know if anybody saw him.
No, I missed them. Okay, good evening, Tim. I missed you before. And Michael's here. Good. Okay.
Good evening, Ray.
Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Good. Okay. Well, it's 7 o'clock, so Jeremy, you ready?
I am.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the East Hampton Planning and Zoning Commission. Today is September 2nd, 2020. It's 7 o'clock. We're doing this virtually because of the pandemic situation. So first is we have a full house, so we do not need to seat any alternates, and I would like to thank all the members of the commission for being here this evening and taking time out to do that, and also members of the public for being here and hopefully expressing your opinion. I'm looking for an approval of the minutes of the August 19th, 2020 special meeting with any corrections anybody might happen to have.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from Jim. Do I have a second?
Jim.
Who was that? Who made the second?
I'll second. Angelos is here.
Okay, great. We have a motion on the floor and seconded. Any comments, discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention?
I abstain.
Okay, Meg is abstaining. Okay. Next order of business, communications. Jeremy.
One item in your packet that went out to you, I think this morning, is an application to the Siting Council. I think it's AT&T. They are looking to relocate the Baker Hill cell phone tower. The tower currently is up on the top of Baker Hill behind the Lake Vista condos. And I think they've run into some issues with their landlord there. That's my assumption. And they are looking to move that tower down the hill onto the Anderson property, which is kind of due south from the new Napa, sort of out behind there on the hillside. So
Okay.
we have all of the 500 and something pages of the application available in our office if anybody would like to take a look at it. I did not have Christine scan the entire thing. I did have her do the letter to you from the attorney representing the cell phone company and a map of the proposed location of that tower. So if anybody's interested, you can take a look at it. It's in our office.
Okay, you said you sent that out this morning?
Yeah, that should have gone up on the website this morning. I'm not quite sure if she emailed it or not, but it should be on the website.
She
Okay.
emailed it.
Okay, great.
I would encourage everybody to take a look at that. What action do we have to take on that? Not this evening, but next month.
Nothing at this time.
Okay,
It should be entirely in the Siting Council's hands. We're going to double check with the town attorney on that and make sure I'm not missing something, but I think it's entirely with the Siting Council.
and some of these, we've had to do an 824 in the past, so if you could double check that, I would
Yeah,
appreciate
we'll
it.
double check that because that tower is the one that we have some police department equipment on and some other radio equipment, so we'll double check that.
I know, that's the only reason I was thinking of it.
Yep.
Okay,
Is that
Anything
other
else?
tower, is that other tower gonna come down or?
That's my understanding, is that this is a relocation. Yep.
Okay. Who owns that property? You know?
The one that it's currently on,
No, the one that's gonna go on.
I think his name is Keith Anderson.
Okay.
it'll all be on the application. Is there anything else, Jeremy?
No, I have no other communications for you.
Okay, liaison reports, inland wetland, nothing that we need to discuss right at the moment. So, Roy, anything?
Committee's trying to close out. It looks like we're gonna
We can
have-
barely hear you. I was wondering if you could speak up a little bit?
It said the building committee is trying to close out. It looks like we're gonna have to do it by Zoom. We were hoping to do it in person, but that doesn't look like that's gonna happen anytime soon. So maybe by next month we'll have closed out and I'll have a final report for you.
Thank you. Michael, anything?
Yes, we met at the RPC. We got an update about the regional plan. And then we talked about a region-wide storm recovery resiliency plan. And then we briefly talked about potential changes to the state affordable housing legislation. That's what I got.
Okay, Jim,
Yes, I did not attend the ZBA meeting. However, I do have the minutes of the meeting. They had it August 24th, and they had one application which was granted. And the application was Len Dacus, 21 Emerson Road, to reduce the front yard setback from 25 feet to 11 feet and reduce the rears from 25 to 10 feet and reduce the side from 15 to 2.29 to construct a 672 square foot second story over existing structure footprint on a non-conforming lot. As I said, that was granted. That's it.
thank you. Kevin,
Nothing to report at this time.
Meg,
Nothing, thank you.
okay, Angelus,
Nothing to report.
okay, Jim,
I'm all set. I gave you my.
I'm sorry, Tim,
Yeah, Tim,
Sorry about
nothing to
that.
report.
okay, and finally, Ted,
Nothing.
okay. Public comments. I would first like to thank Jeremy for putting everything together for both our special meeting and for the regional plan of conservation and development for the River Cog. Well, that was terrific having everything together for that. Next, this is the time for public comment. If anybody has any comments that they would like to make that do not directly address the public hearings that we're going to have this evening, please tell us your name, first be recognized, and then tell us your name, address, and please make your comments.
I've opened up the microphone, so there are 4 members of the public on. Those 4, you can unmute yourselves and speak at this time if you choose to.
Anybody? Okay, I will, at the end, if someone can remind me, I will also open it up for the public again, just because with these Zoom meetings, I can't actually look and see if anybody wants to say something. So let me make a note on that one. Comments. Okay, moving on then. If you could read the legal notice.
Yep. The East Hampton Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a regular meeting on September 2nd, 2020 at 7 p.m. via Zoom to consider the following. Application PZC-20-001 Sports on 66 LLC 265 West High Street for a special permit to sell alcohol as an accessory use, section 8.84B, map 6, block 12, lot 20. Application 20-004 Lisa Sherman, 50 Main Street for a zone change R1 to POR, map 02A, block 47, lot 25. Updates to section 3.1 Lake Pocatapog Protection Zone, application PZC 20-016 James Marino, 106 Main Street for a zone change, VC to VHO, section 4.5, map 02A, block 48, lot 3-1. Application PZC 20-015 James Marino, 106 Main Street for a site plan review for a duplex, map 02A, block 48, lot 3-1. Application PZC 20-017 Atlantis Marketing for an amendment to the zoning regulations to amend section 5.2 and add section 5.2.C.6 gasoline or motor fuel filling stations in conjunction with a retail store in the commercial zone. Application PZC 20-018 Atlantis Marketing, 157 Main Street for a zone change from R2 to commercial for future merge with 1 Colchester Avenue, map 07A, block 56, lot 24. Application PZC 20-019. The East Hampton Rotary Club Foundation, 45 Daily Road for a special permit for commercial recreation, map 33, block 87, lot 3. Application PZC 20-020, Jacqueline Montanez Colon, 46 Skinner Street for a special permit to operate a car repair and used car sales business in the industrial zone, section 5.3C, map 20, block 48C, lot 17A. And I will add at this time that since the publishing of this legal ad, the application for Sports on 66 has been withdrawn by the applicant, and the application by the East Hampton Rotary Club for 45 Daily Road has also been withdrawn by the applicant.
Okay, thank you.
The fifth cup of coffee must have just kicked in.
I'm sorry?
Jeremy's 5th cup of coffee must have just kicked in the way he was reading that.
Hey, I'm trying to keep it quick for Ray. I don't want to hold him up here.
Application PZC 20-004, Lisa Sherman, 50 Main Street for a zone change R1 to POR, map O2A, block 47, lot 25. We have closed, please correct me if I am wrong on this one, Jeremy. We've closed the public hearing on that. We are right now into discussion.
We actually haven't opened the public hearing on that one yet. We have to do so tonight. We've run out of times with the extension, so we do have to open that hearing. It hasn't opened yet. The applicant, the twin application later on has been closed.
Okay, okay, application for an amendment zone change, regulation 54A POR zone, okay. What I would like to do then is, I know it's under old business 7B, because 7A is dependent on whether we pass 7B or not. What I would like to do administratively is take the closed application of PZC 20-003, Lisa Sherman, for an amendment to the zoning regulation 5.4.8 POR zone. And then what I would like to do is have that, since that one is closed, open for discussion. I know that we have discussed it in the past. We keep putting it off in the hopes that we could actually meet in person. But unfortunately, we're going to be on this Zoom meeting tonight, and we do have to take care of this particular piece of business this evening. So what I would hope is that people would have some opinion that they would express, and then we're going to have to move this application this evening. And I would like to have not just let it slide and then end up being accepted by virtue of the fact we have had no action on it. I would like to actually vote it up or vote it down. So with that, any members of the commission who are the only ones that can speak this evening on this, could you please express an opinion one way or the other?
I'll start it off if you want me to. I've expressed opinions on this before at our meetings, and I'm opposed of making a change on the thing because it seems like we're eventually going to be losing the whole R1 zone. And the people have come down and expressed that they don't want that changed, you know. And they feel that what I got out of the people's feeling was that a lot of these changing the thing is, it will change the whole section. And I pointed out before that we started with, like on the west side, we had 16, and we actually had a change to the 3 of them up there that they could go in the future. And if you take those along with the other 4, that would reduce it from the 16 that originally had to only 9 on that side. And on the other side, the 2 that we said that could have gone before, and the 2 more that are being proposed now would be another 4 to lose out of 18. So that side would go from 18 to 14. So that zone is being diminished, and I don't feel the people speaking out against it want to change their zone. And I feel strongly that people that live in a particular zone should have a right to how their zone is to be stayed the way it is or to be changed. So that's my opinion.
Okay. Anybody
Yeah.
else? Commission?
Jim, I also, feel the same way that you do in a lot of respects, based on what you stated. And with this whole COVID thing, I would think that, maybe we can entertain doing something down the road at another meeting, but not right now. I'm not in favor of any changes at this point.
Anybody else? Okay, I have everybody knows my opinion basically, which is I believe that given the types of houses, what has been the historical use on Main Street, which is there has been business on a low impact scale, whether it be, and Skinner Street also, doctors, lawyers, that sort of thing. And that's how it has been for a very long time. And I'm now going back decades, not just the past few years. So I think that that would be one of the things that would help these very high taxed, fairly old, high maintenance requirement houses to maintain that kind of Main Street feel that we have. But that's just my opinion. Anybody else?
I mean, this is Ange. I'm kind of on the fence with it. You know, just because of the public opposition, I didn't really hear anybody in favor of it. But I totally agree with what Ray stated. And I mean, just in terms of promoting, you know, reasonable business in the town, I think that it presents opportunity for the town. But at the same time, you know, we heard the public speak, and I didn't really hear anybody say that they were in favor of it, at least not anybody that was directly impacted by the proposed change. But I'd like to hear what other commission members have to say before we entertain the motion.
Hey, Ray, is this an opportunity for the public to speak on this matter? Or
Unfortunately, we've closed the public hearing on this. Now it's just a discussion among ourselves.
all right, thank you.
What has been brought up is absolutely correct, that there are, I don't recall anybody actually that was in favor other than the applicant and a couple of commission members.
I have a question. Would the home-based application regulation that we're looking at in any way address what's looking to be done at the property today?
I would think that it would. Jeremy could probably answer that in a little bit more detail if you're prepared to address that, Jeremy.
Yeah, and we can, obviously, we have a lot of work to do on that section, and we don't even have a draft at this point. But I think to answer your question, Angelus, I think the simple answer is yes. You know, it might be a little bit more complicated than that as we get into crafting those regulations, but I think the simple answer is yes.
Because those regulations aren't going to allow signage, right?
Well, I don't know about that.
Okay.
Right, and so that was my understanding with the public at the when we did have public in the room the last time we were able to really converse about this, was that the signage was the main concern. And I'll remind everybody that right now the POR zone doesn't even allow zoning. I mean, doesn't even allow signage, and that's an item of discussion later on in the agenda as well. So I think a home-based occupation permit or home-based regulation would have to allow some kind of signage, but it certainly would not be to the scale that you're going to see in the commercial zone or the village center. It would be something small, and in keeping with the residential nature, because again, the idea with those is to keep the residential nature in place, to really hide the business, but allow some flexibility for people to work at home.
So why do we need a zone change if signs aren't allowed?
The zone change application is kind of what prompted me to, start taking a look at a home-based occupation regulation and bring that to you all, to your attention. You know, do we go down the path of promoting the POR zone in areas, or do we go down the path of looking at a home-based occupation permit that would be usable, town-wide in some fashion or another, versus the POR zone, which is a very fixed limit? So I think the idea of a home-based occupation regulation grew out of this application because of the opposition we were seeing.
Okay.
Anybody else? I'm going to call for a motion. Mr. Senate.
I'm going to make a motion that we deny this a zone change.
For the reason,
Basically, for the reason that it will reduce the intent of that particular zone. It would, for the R1, it would reduce the R1 to a degree that that I feel like in the future may basically eliminate it.
okay, we have a motion on the floor on application PZC-20-003, Lisa Sherman, for amendment to zoning regulation 5.4.A POR zone. I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Senate. Do I have a second?
Roy, second.
I have a motion on the floor and seconded. Any comments or discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion to deny, please signify by saying aye. I need to have a head count on this one. So whoever is in favor of this motion to deny.
Roy,
Okay,
Meg,
Senate, yes. I mean,
Roland, yes.
I'm sorry?
Roland, yes.
Okay, let me just go down the list then. Kevin? Yeah.
Deny. I would like to deny, so yes.
I'll
Okay,
say deny.
okay, so it's Kevin is a yes, Jim is a yes, Roy is a yes, Meg is a yes,
Roland is a yes.
Roland is a yes. Okay, who did I miss other than myself? Nobody? Okay.
Angelus, I didn't hear Angelus.
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm a nay.
Okay, and Ray is a nay, but the motion carries. Okay, with that, application PZC-0, I'm sorry, PZC, application PZC 20-004, Lisa Sherman, 50 Main Street, for a zone change from R1 to POR, map 02A, block 47, lot 25 is thereby rendered mute. So at this point, what do we do, Jeremy, procedure-wise?
You're muted, Jeremy.
Sorry, I know. I was trying to get my mouse to the right spot to unmute myself.
Okay.
Statute says that you cannot change a zone without a public hearing. You can't change a zone, so I don't think you even need to open the hearing at this point. That said, we do have a few people on the line. If you want to hear their comments, I don't think it would be inappropriate to do that. Either way, you have to deny the application.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to open up the application, PZC-20-004, Lisa Sherman, 50 Main Street, for a zone change, R1 to POR, map 02A, block 47, lot 25. And I will give the commission members a chance to comment if there are any comments at all. Commission members, anybody? Hearing none, I'm going to now open it up, and commission members can, of course, continue to speak. I'm going to open it up to the public. So if you could, Jeremy, unmute the public. If anybody has anything to say on this particular application.
The 5 folks that are on can now unmute themselves if they choose to speak at this time.
Anybody?
Is the applicant here? No?
No.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello,
Hello, who's this?
this is Larry Lowe, Walnut Avenue.
Yes.
And on the changing from R1 to POR, that would really impact the appearance, historical nature of Main Street. And if you open it up there, you're going to end up opening it across the town. Does everybody want professional offices next to them? I don't think so. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else from the public have a comment?
all right, so
What was your address on Walnut Ave, please? The
Yes,
number?
Walnut Avenue, yes,
The number?
46.
or actually.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, I would like to entertain a motion to close the public hearing for application PZC-20-004, Lisa Sherman, 50 Main Street, for a zone change, R1 to POR, map 02A, block 47, lot 25. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion from
Kevin.
Kevin. Do I have a second?
Second, Roy.
I have a second from Roy. Any comments or discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any abstentions, any objections? Hearing none, the motion carries. I'd like to have a motion to deny the application PZC 20-004 Lisa Sherman, 50 Main Street for a zone change R1 to POR, map 02A, block 47, lot 25, due to the fact that we cannot grant this because the zone regulations do not allow it. Do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I have a
Kevin.
motion from Kevin. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Jim Senate. So all those in favor of denying this application PZC-20-004, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion carries. On to 5B, application PZC 20-016, James Marino, 106 Main Street for vote for a zone change, VC to VHO 4.5 map 02A, block 48, lots 3-1. Jeremy's just put that up on the screen. And this is the one that is directly across from the library. It's on Main Street, adjacent to Poketipong Creek as shown on the map. It is not the one that's next to it with all the cars that I think Jeremy said he is trying to address at the present time. Is the applicant here? You have to unmute yourself, Jim.
Okay.
Okay, if you could briefly identify yourself for the record and also give us a brief overview of what you're trying to do.
Jim Marino for Main Street. Basically trying to put up a 2-family home. I think it would fit perfect there.
Okay, but right now we're hearing a zone change from Village Center to Village
Yeah, I
Housing
understand.
Opportunity.
Go ahead. Yeah, we're
So
trying to. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I was just gonna clarify a little bit. In order to do anything that doesn't have commercial on the ground floor here, the property would need to be changed from Village Center to Village Housing Overlay. Village Center requires commercial use or office use on the first floor with residential above. Village Housing Overlay is an 8.2J Village District Zone that can overlay anywhere in the Village Center district, and then some of the residential areas directly adjacent to it as well. That would allow either duplexes, 3 families, or multifamily structures. This is proposed to be a duplex, and so the only way to accomplish that is to change the zone from the underlying Village Center to the overlay Village Housing.
Comments or questions on the zone change from the commission?
What's on the property now? Anything?
Nothing.
Yes,
this is Joe Fuller. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a vacant lot right now. That was just kind of a leftover piece. It looks like it would go along with the residential that runs up Main Street. Then you have kind of a divider, natural divider line, which is Poketipong Creek, and the other side is more of the commercial industrial area. So we think it's a good fit. I mean, they're small duplexes. They're not any bigger than a regular house, and it makes good use of the land. Seeing how we have sewers there, we can keep down the possibility of any contaminants to the creek. Other than that, we're just trying to put some more affordable housing in that area, and that's about it.
Jeremy, do you know how many houses are in the VHO on that street?
We don't have any VHO properties currently. As you run, I'll say up Main Street, meaning up the hill, but it's really south. As you go
Yeah.
south on Main Street, it's Village Center up to the funeral home. The funeral home is the last property in the Village Center, and then it's just it's R2, I think, south of that. And so we don't actually. This is the first time that the Village Housing Overlay has ever been used or applied for.
Okay. And how long has that been in, I don't know, in our regulations of VHO?
I'm going to say about 2008, so 12 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah, the idea is to be able to use it to rehab some of the old mills into housing, or, be able to
okay.
rehab some of the older structures around the Village Center. The goal is to get more good housing in the Village Center. So this really is, in my opinion, a perfect fit for what the Village Housing Overlay was designed to do. This lot does not serve, it's not suited well for any kind of commercial use. You can see there's a good chunk of wetlands on it, which renders a lot of it useless. It's next to a residential piece. It's disconnected from the Village Center, but it certainly is walkable. I think it lends itself well to, a duplex use such as Jim has proposed here.
Are there any impacts to the lake in proximity to the Pocatapog Creek?
No impacts to the lake. This is downstream of the dam quite a ways, and this has been through wetlands and received its wetlands permit last week from Inland Wetlands. Joel has done a really good job of designing a plan that minimizes, really pretty much eliminates any impacts to the creek. Gutters are going to a couple of infiltrator units underground out behind the driveway. The driveway is stone for infiltration. He's staying out of the wetlands. They're constructing a stone wall around the wetland line to keep any development or any tenants out of the wetland area. So I think it's a pretty good plan.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions.
Anything
And
else?
this kind of goes in line with our planning and development as far as the Village Center.
It does. One of the things that the POCD is encourages more affordable and more housing units in general down in the Village Center.
Is this considered a truly affordable housing? There's houses that are, cheaper to build and rent and all that stuff, but does this go into the so-called category where will be classified as affordable housing?
So you're looking at the 830G definition of affordable housing.
Correct.
We have talked about that, and one unit will be required to meet the affordable housing statute, because the regulation, the Village Housing Overlay, requires that at least 20% of the units constructed be affordable, meeting the 830G definition. So scale that up, it's only 2 units, so one of them will be affordable.
Okay.
This is a public hearing. We're going to open up to the public. If any members of the public wish to speak, please do so. First, identify yourself, be recognized, and please give us your comments. At the same time, anybody on the commission that has anything to say, they're welcome also to continue to make contributions. Anybody from the public?
I have unmuted the mics. We have 4 people in the public on. Feel free to unmute yourselves and speak at this time if you choose to.
This is Bob Atherton. We live at 119 Main Street, just up the hill from the proposed change. And based on what we've heard tonight, we, my wife and I, support it. We hope that will put some pressure on their next door neighbors to do something with the used car lot that is slowly growing next door. Thank you.
Jeremy, I know you and I have had the discussion on this. If you could just very briefly comment on that. I realize it's outside the application, but please go ahead anyway.
Yeah, we're working through the zoning process to get that cleaned up. It's a long process. It's never easy, but the owners of the property have received a couple of letters from me, and they're going to be due for a 3rd one very soon, and it'll probably get turned over to the attorney shortly after that if I don't get any any cooperation.
What's the issue? Is it the number of unregistered vehicles on the property? What is it that the violation is?
Yeah, number of unregistered vehicles is greater than one. There's an unpermitted structure there, and we suspect, although we have not been able to confirm, but we suspect that there's some repair work going on there.
Okay.
Okay, anything else from any of the members of the public? Anything else from any members of the commission?
Yes, I have one question. The pot you're talking about, is that, where is that? That's not, because the creek side, is it on the other side of the property? Is it whose property is it? Did you see it on the map? I'm talking about the cars.
Oh, it's just to the left. It's to the, if you're looking at this property from the street, it's to the left. So just to the south, it's the next parcel. It's like a yellow house.
Says, Domenico
Yeah.
Brioni.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay. And how big is that property that's next to it?
I
Tell you the
don't
truth,
know.
I don't know offhand.
That's a little outside of this particular application, so.
No, I was just wondering what it looked like next to the application that we had, you know.
Jeremy would have to get back to you on that one. Joel, do you have any idea?
It's a bit bigger. They both end at the back, but it's not a large lot. It's kind of like if this lot was squared up a little more, that would be the size.
Okay.
So you might be looking at around 40,000 maybe square feet.
Okay, with that, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing portion of application PZC-20-016 James Marino, 106 Main Street for a zone change from Village Center to Village Housing Overlay 4.5, map 02A, block 48, lots 3-1.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor from Kevin. Do I have a second?
Second, Roland. Second, Roland.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor and seconded. Oh, and also for the reason that this would increase the housing stock and is within our regulations, if that's all right with both the Kevin
Okay
and
to add.
also with
Yes.
Roland, yes?
With
Yes.
that amendment, yes.
Okay,
I would also add that it's in line with our POCD.
and it's in line with our POCD. I have a motion on the floor and seconded. Any comments or discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, that's unanimous, so moved. Application 5C, application PZC-20-015, James Marino, 106 Main Street for a special permit and site plan review for a duplex in the,
Hey, Ray, not to interrupt you or anything, but that was just to close the public meeting, right?
oh, okay. I'm losing track.
The
I'm trying to
motion.
make notes and look at the screen at the same time. Okay, that's to close the public hearing. So let's do one for the, to the East Hampton
I
Planning
like-
Commission approves the application PZC-20-016, James Marino, 106 Main Street for a zone change VC to VHO 4.5 map 02A, block 48, lots 3-1, for the reasons that were previously stated. It is consistent with the POCD. It increases the housing lot and appropriate for that particular location. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor and seconded. Any comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, that sounds unanimous. So moved. Application 5C, application, by the way, thank you for catching that, Kevin. Application 5C, application PZC-20-015, James Marino, 106 Main Street for a special permit and site plan review for a duplex in the Village Housing Overlay, map 02A, block 48, lots 3-1. If you could, either Joel or the applicant, just give us a brief rundown of the site plan and where the driveway is, why you chose it, and point out where the inland wetlands are in this, please?
Yes, this is Joel Fuller from Marlboro. I'm the licensed land surveyor on the project. And we worked through wetlands on this, and that helped shape pretty much our general layout. The drive was chosen to go into the southerly corner of the lot to keep our grading and everything out of the wetland area. We don't have to fill any wetlands. We have a pipe in the driveway that is going to take a little water and then exit right directly to the wetlands, just so that we keep everything as it was before. The water will stay the same pattern. We're going to use basically just a little bit of stone at the end of the pipe, and then we're going to use the matting so that it will hold and grow quick, and it will just all look like lawn, so it will continue to sheet flow across there. I'm showing like a low stone wall or barrier just outside the wetlands, mostly to keep activity out of the wetland area, because some of it is not real pronounced. It's hard to tell if you're in the wetlands or on the upland there in the beginning front section. And then it continues back along the side of the building, and in that case it would get a little bit higher, but not real high, maybe 3 feet in some areas, and then that would be holding back fill that we're going to need when we get back to the actual foundation location. But it won't be a masonry wall. It'll be a natural wall. It should look pretty good, and the water's just going to weep through it in the general even pattern. Richard Snarsky flagged the wetlands for me. I surveyed them, and basically I kept the house to the south as much as possible to allow me to get a drive along that property line, and to the back where I can put in a little bit of parking, and we're going to have decks in the back and a couple of garages. So the front it'll look pretty clean. Most of the parking and everything will be in the back. I've included a walk along the driveway, which will run up to the existing concrete driveway along Main Street and come out right there across from the library, and you'd be able to use the sidewalk to go to town or anywhere you want there in the upside residential area. Again, these are not real large units. We're just trying to get some housing in there for young families, and possibly some retirees. And another factor was the roof water is going to be recharged into infiltrators. So that's taken out of the equation of overland flow of water. I did have to move them a little bit. They were inside a little bit inside the 25-foot minimum well radius. But basically in the same area, I just kind of had to pivot them and move them down a little and over. So the well will be in the back. There's sewers, so there's no conflict with any septics in the area. And again, it's a 20,000 square foot lot. So I think with the wetlands taking up part of it, we've managed to work this in there. It's tight, but it works. And I think that it makes a pretty good plan for that area. Other than that, I think that I will be happy to answer any of your specific questions.
Any members of the commission have any questions, comments?
Yeah, I have a few, right. As far as the square foot per each side, what were you thinking there? Or what do you have it planned for? As far as the house, or the duplex?
Okay, the house, each unit is 24 by 28. So, find my calculator here. I can tell you the exact square footage of one unit. Okay, so 28
672.
times 24. Correct. Yeah. So double that for the whole building.
Yeah. Is that 2-bedroom or?
It's still really,
each?
huh?
Is that 2-bedroom in each? Or just
Yeah,
one?
2 bedrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 bed. So basically, it's kind of the size of a typical ranch. You know, maybe just a hair bigger.
Yeah. Up and down. Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as the land layout, I know that you're in the wetlands area there. As far as seeding the lawn, are you going to use any fertilizers?
I think
On the
that's a
initial-
little outside the
I
site.
don't think so. We're not gonna put no, not really.
And then as far as the pitch of the land, is it going to pitch away from the wetlands? Or what's the grade? Is it like less than 10% or?
Okay, directly like in the middle of the house, in the back is a high point, and one side will pitch towards Pokety and the other side will pitch south, and it will be across the driveway, only at 2%, and then it will fall off the driveway and go through our pipe. So it won't go on the neighbor's property, because we're gonna build up the driveway there a little bit. We will be taking water from the neighbor's property and taking our own water right at that point, and run along the drive and through the pipe.
And then as far as a buffer, you have any buffers with your neighbors?
No, not really. The whole thing is in a wetland buffer, which we got approval for. And we really don't, there's a little piece of wall in the front, but that's about it. We don't really have room for a buffer. It's, when you come across our property line, it is, there's nothing there really until you get up into where the cars are and stuff. So it's pretty open. And in the back, it'll be going through the woods.
Okay, thank you.
Any members of the commission?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Is this an existing driveway or are you building a new one?
This is a new driveway, so we'll have to make a cut into the existing sidewalk up front and then reconcrete that when we're done. But there's no driveway there now.
Okay. And how far is this house from the neighboring house, give or take?
I would say, I think it shows on the vicinity plan, the neighbor's house is really towards the south more, so we've got a drive there and everything. So I'm thinking probably around 80 feet or so to the house, 90 feet.
Okay.
And to your property line, it's at least 20 feet, I would imagine. It sounds like it's more like 40 to your property line, huh?
My property line? What do you mean?
Yeah. Between the building and where you're going to put the house and your property line.
That is going to be it's only about 18 feet. So
Okay.
just enough room to get that drive through there. And again, I'm trying to balance the concern with the wetlands and the steeper slopes on the other side too.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for Jeremy. Not too long ago, there was floodplain regulations that required structures to be higher than what was before. I don't know if this is in a floodplain or not. Does this construction at all fall in line with floodplain?
It does not. It is not in the flood zone, and so there's no concern there.
Okay, Jeremy, thank you.
This is a public hearing. I would like to open it up to members of the public. If anybody has any comments or questions, please be recognized and keep your comments short and to the point if you would. Anybody?
I've unmuted. If you want to speak, just unmute yourselves and you can speak at this time. I'll also say, Mr. Chairman, that this went before the Design Review Board as required last week and was approved by the DRB. And I had the facade drawing up there a moment ago so you could see what it's going to look like. And I'll pull it up again.
Does the driveway and everything comply with setback requirements?
It does.
Okay.
What are the setback requirements? Is it 15 feet or
The village housing, it's 20 feet in the front, and I think the side yard is 10.
okay.
What about the driveway?
Driveways are only 5 feet, though.
5 feet, okay.
Okay. With that, anybody else have any comments before I ask for a motion to close the public hearing?
Heating, natural gas on this?
Propane, yep.
Okay, with that, if someone could make a motion to close the public hearing.
I would like to make a motion that we close the public hearing of application PZC 20-015 James Marino, 106 Main Street for a special permit and site plan review for a duplex in the VHO map 02A block 48 lot 3-1.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Roland.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor and second to close the public hearing. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, that sounds unanimous. So we're going on now to the motion, or look for a motion to approve the application PZC-20-015 James Marino, 106 Main Street for a special permit and site plan review for a duplex in the VHO map 02A block 48 lots 3-1 for the following reasons. It's consistent with the POCD. It increases the housing stock, especially in the village center. We have approvals from DRB and Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency with the following conditions. Town staff be notified prior to start of construction. All permits that are in hand prior to the start of construction. Do I have someone who would like to make that motion?
So moved.
I have a motion on the floor from Angelus. Do I have a second?
Second, Kevin.
I have a second from Kevin. Any comments, questions on this motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Okay, application PZC 20-017, Atlantis Marketing for amendment to the zoning regulations to amend section 5.2 and add section 5.2.c.6, gasoline or motor fuel filling stations in conjunction with retail store in the commercial zone. Jeremy.
We have received a request from the applicant, rather the attorney representing the applicant, that this application and the next application, PZC 2017 and 2018, both be postponed with the hearing opening at the October 7th meeting.
I would like a motion to continue application PZC-20-017, Atlantis Marketing for amendment to the zoning regulations to amend 5.2 and add 5.2.C.6 gasoline or motor fuel filling stations in conjunction with a retail store in the commercial zone at the request of the applicant. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion on the floor from Angelos. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion on the floor, seconded by Roland. All those, any comments, discussion on this motion? All
That's
those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passes unanimously. Application 5E, I would like to have a motion to continue.
Ray, question.
Yes, go.
On E and F, is that just to move that public hearing to the next meeting? Is that correct? Did I understand
The
that?
entire application, we have not opened the public hearing.
Okay, so we did not open the public hearing. All right, thank you. All right.
Okay.
Am
I would
I-
like to- Yes. Okay, I would like to have a motion to continue the application PZC-20-018 Atlantis Marketing 157 for a zone change from R2 to commercial for future merge with 1 Colchester Avenue, map 07A, block 56, lot 24, to our next regularly scheduled meeting at the request of the applicant. Do I have a motion?
That was 157 Main Street, correct?
Yes.
In the motion? Thank you. I will.
Okay, I have a motion on the
I'll
floor.
make the
Do I have a
motion.
second? Looking for a second.
Seconded.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor, seconded by Angelos. Any comments or questions or discussion on this application? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes unanimously. Application PZC.
Hey, Ray, I have to hit the road for a trip up to Maine. I'm hoping you can unseat me and seat an alternate for the remainder of the meeting.
Okay, Angelos is unseated. Have a good trip and a safe trip.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Let's see. Michael, you're seated this evening.
Thank you.
Okay. Application PZC-20-020 Jacqueline Montanez Colon, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, 46 Skinner Street for a special permit to operate a car repair and used car sales business in the industrial zone. Section 5.3.C, map 20, block 48C, lot 17A. I see the applicant is here. Could you please unmute yourself, identify yourself, and give us your address for the record?
Hi, Jacqueline Montanez for 46 Skinner Street. What I'm trying to do is a auto repair shop and dealership for used cars. We're not doing body shop, body work for nothing.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? About the body shop, I didn't hear.
We're not doing body shop, body work.
Okay, so you're not going to be doing body work?
No.
Okay. Jeremy, I know this is in the industrial zone, and do you have a map where it is? Oh, it's
Yeah, site plan is up on the screen currently. This is on the western side of Skinner Street as you're heading down towards Route 16. This is Howie Schwager's building that he got approval for a number of years ago to construct. It sits up on top of the hill.
Okay.
Does the applicant own the building or is it?
No, the applicant would be a tenant.
Okay.
And I'll also state that this is a 2-story building. It's drive-in on both levels. The applicant is looking at leasing the first floor, which is the front half of the building, not the second floor.
Okay.
That building, I mean, yeah, that building, I guess was approved and we got a CO on that probably, I don't know, how many years ago was that?
There hasn't been a CO just yet. There's some outstanding site work that needs to be done, which would have to be done before the applicant is able to move in.
So should we even be hearing this application before? All this?
Yeah, you can hear the application. It's just a matter of if the commission approves it, there's some stuff that I have to do on my end, and that'll trigger the CO and some other site work and things like that need to get wrapped up.
That's more of an in-house issue, I guess.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so we are essentially approving a use for an existing building?
Correct.
Okay.
How many, Jeremy, I know you and I had a discussion on this. How many cars would you recommend be the maximum amount on this site?
There's not a lot of parking out in the front. I would say probably no more than 8 at a time.
Okay, thank you.
And if they're gonna be selling used cars, so the 8 cars would be the max, and then they wanna have.
Yeah, I would think that eight for sale at a time would be the max, just because there's not enough room out there. There's it's not a big parking area up on top of the hill, and the hill itself is
Right.
not usable.
Yeah. And does that flows through, right, to the other property?
It sort of
Or no?
informally, yes. I don't think there's any easement there, but you can drive from one to the next.
I know it has its own driveway on the other side, but I just wasn't sure how that all played out.
Right. The site plan doesn't show there being a connection, but I think ideally the owners probably would like to have a connection point, just because it would make sense. And so we might work with the owner to get some easements in place to make that happen.
And maybe from a safety issue too, I don't know. It's
Right. Provides more access to the neighboring building.
Yeah.
Just a point of where this is, there's an old antique power shovel on that lot. Is that the lot we're talking about?
Yes, there was until shortly, not too long ago, there was the bus RV thing down at the bottom of the driveway there.
Yeah, Bluebird. Yeah, okay, thank you.
It's been removed because the solar facility is being constructed up behind this.
Oh.
Been previously approved by this commission. Okay, since this is a public hearing, if any of the members of the public wish to make a comment on this, please state your name and give us your comments. Jeremy, if you could unmute.
Yep, everybody that's on there can unmute themselves at this point and speak if they choose to.
Anybody from the public wish to say anything? Okay.
As far as the applicant there, have you been in this business before? Is this your first time, or can you give us a little history on,
It's my first time, but I used to. My husband is the one that do mechanic stuff, and it's been for 8 years. So I've been there all the time.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments from?
I have a
you?
question. Jeremy, how does this type of business regulated as far as waste oil? I know it's not specifically a waste oil changing service, but there'll be fluids and repairs. And how is that managed?
They will have to have a waste oil tank on site, and that will be included in their application that goes to DMV. And the location gets approved by the DMV as well, and they'll have to have a maintenance plan for emptying out the tank at certain intervals.
It is uphill from Pocatapog Creek, and we already got problems down there. We didn't need any more.
Right. That is down the hill and across the street. You're right.
Anything else from the commission? Or the
Yes. Will the driveway for the solar farm be off of this driveway, or does it have another driveway somewhere?
It'll be a shared curb cut from coming in from 196. Although, as you can see on this site plan, the driveway up to the solar field kicks off right here. So it's a very short overlap.
Okay.
It's a straight shot, pretty much, right?
Right. The driveway to the
straight shot up.
You can see my cursor there on the screen. The driveway for the solar field shoots right up this slope.
Okay. Yep.
And as you mentioned before, Jeremy, there's no certain amount of used car dealers that we are limited to in the town of
No.
East Hartford?
No, there's nothing in the local regulations and there's nothing at the state level that limits that.
Okay, I would like to entertain a motion to close the public hearing for application PCC 20-020, Jacqueline Montanez Colon, 46 Skinner Street, for a special permit to operate a car repair and used car sales business in the industrial zone 5.3.C, map 20, block 48C, lot 17A. Anybody
So-
wish to make that?
So, Chairman, Kevin.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor from Kevin. Do I have a second?
Second, Roland.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor and second to close public hearing. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's so moved. What I would like to do is have a motion to approve application PZC 20-20, Jacqueline Montanez Colon, 46 Skinner Street, for a special permit to operate a car repair and used car sales business in the industrial zone, section 5.3.C, map 20, block 48C, lot 17A, for the following reasons. It is consistent with our zoning regulations and with the following conditions: that a CO is obtained prior to start of the business, that town staff is notified prior to the start of the business, and that the maximum number of cars on this property is 8.
Just for clarification on the special permit. So once that special permit is in place, that carries with the land, the property?
That is correct.
Is that maximum of 8, is that for inventory or for all vehicles?
All vehicles.
And that zone, or that special permit, I guess, if the tenant were to move out or whatever, and then somebody else can come in front of us and change that special permit to another permit, or does it have to be a special permit specifically for used cars?
No, they could come in front of you and change it. I mean, if somebody came in and said, I want to do the exact same type of business, same, nothing's going to change, they would have to go to DMV to get their license.
Right.
But they would not need to come in front of the commission to do that. But if somebody came in and said, I don't want to do used cars and repair, I want to do, body shop, or I want to do, I don't know, pick something, then they would have to come back to you.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Yep.
I need some clarification on the 8 cars. 8 cars would include the owner's cars, the mechanic's car, or are we talking about 8 cars for sale plus an owner's car or 2?
Given what I have discussed with Jeremy, I was going to make it, or whoever is going to make the motion, as 8 cars maximum on the property.
Okay, all right.
All right, well, Ray, you started out with a motion. I mean, I'll second it. Did you make the motion, Ray?
To make the motion?
All right, I'll second it.
Kevin?
Yes.
I'm not making the motion. Would you like to make that motion?
Oh, sure, I'll make the motion.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor from Kevin. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Roland.
I have a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the application. Any comments, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
I think somebody was saying something before the.
Can you read back the motion?
Okay, the motion is to approve application PZC 20-20, Jacqueline Montez Colon, 46 Skinner Street, for a special permit to operate a car repair and used car sales business in the industrial zone, section 5.3.C, map 20, block 48C, lot 17A, for the following reasons. It's consistent with our regulations and with the following conditions: that a CO is obtained prior to the start of the business, that town staff is notified prior to the start of the business, and that the maximum number of cars on this property is 8 cars. I have a motion on the floor and second. Any further comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Jeremy, set 5G, updates to section 3.1 Lake Poketipog Protection Zone.
I've got nothing new at this time. I know we've opened up this public hearing and this has been dragging on for a little bit. I don't know. We don't really have much in the way of people in the attendance at this point. I don't know how you want to handle this, Ray, or the rest of the commission. If you want to just keep the public hearing open and maybe we'll get back in person at some point and we can move forward. It's kind of up to you.
I personally would like to continue this because I would really like to have some more opinion input, anything from the public, which these Zoom meetings are very difficult to get people's opinions on this. So what I would like to do is first open it up if anybody, members of the public, would like to say anything. And then after that, I would like to continue it, both the hearing and the application, because it's ours, to our next regularly scheduled meeting, if that is okay with the remainder of the commission.
Is there any way, I mean, this whole COVID issue, it doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon. And this is, I don't know, it's a change in our regulations. Is there any way that we could just like drop this so that we don't have to keep continuing, and then, you know, maybe just open it up once everything gets better and everybody's back to a normal lifestyle? Because then you have to publish it in the paper every time, right? That we continue.
We don't have to. It's not a requirement that we publish it, but if we're putting a legal ad for new applications in anyway, then we just kind of republish everything else that's going to be on there. We can do it that way. A lot of work has gone into this and I'd hate for it to just sort of get dropped and not gotten back to. That's, I think, the main reason why we've kept it on the agenda.
Me personally, as a single commissioner, not as chairman.
I have a point.
Go ahead, Jim.
We've had 2 work sessions with the public of what they want.
I think 3 anyway.
Do you see anything more coming in? I would like to just vote it in, and if there's any changes, we could change it. But at least we'll have a regulation that's a lot better than what we have right now. And there's no reason why we can't update it if something great comes in and we said, gee, we forgot that, we'll put it in then, you know, but then we'll have it. Then we won't have to keep doing it each time, you know. I think we've answered everything that the public has given us.
It's a good point. I haven't gotten any additional comments. You're right about that. And it has been noticed on the legal ads the last couple of months. So it's a good point, Jim.
But Jim, there's also been discussions about, you know, lakefront owners and having to do more things to their property. You know, they're already paying a ton of taxes.
That's right. I don't see.
Property, and then there were some other, there were more restrictions going forward. So I don't know that I would be in favor of that myself personally.
Well, again, it's not retroactive. We're not going to be making anybody do something that they, you know, didn't do in the past. If you're doing new construction, and a lot of it is in line with the 9-point plan, and it's in line with the Lake Smart program that the Conservation Lake Commission has started up and done a couple of awards for already. So it's, you know, I don't think a lot of it is sort of stuff that we're already recommending. It's just kind of formalizing a lot of those things.
After Jim's comments, I could go either way. Kevin, which way do you want to go?
I'm personally not ready to make a motion on this to approve it at this time. I mean, I get your points, Jim, but at the same time, I don't know. I just can't bring myself to make a motion to approve it at this point.
This is Meg. I go with Jim.
Is there something, Kevin, that you would like to change in the thing, the way it's reading?
Well, there was, you know, discussions about the buffer, you know, in front of the lake, and I don't know. I have some issues with that. I'd have to revisit it again. To be honest with you, I haven't looked at the regulation in probably a month or so, maybe 2 months. So I don't know if if there's a way, maybe, you know, if I take a look at the regulation and then we could just like delete a couple paragraphs and then accept that, I would probably be in favor of that. And then once we get more feedback, when we can get more feedback on those other issues that people were hung up on at our workshop meetings, I know that some of them were hashed out, but there were still others that I don't know, I just wasn't comfortable with. So either way.
Any other members of the commission?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to leave this as an agenda item for one more month and see what happens with town council, whether they stay like we do meetings or they have a live meeting at the town hall. And then upon the recommendation of Jeremy and how all that's going, we could have something printed again in front of us and discuss it. So if we keep it one more month and we decide that we want to shelf it until 4 or 5 months from now, I would be comfortable with that. I would say leave it alive on the agenda one more month.
Would that be a reasonable compromise to everybody? We move it next month.
That's fine. I don't care. I just think we should be moving on this somewhat because we don't have anything right now.
Since this is a public hearing, any members of the public wish to weigh in on that? If you could unmute everybody, Jeremy?
The lines are open, so they can unmute themselves and speak if they choose to.
Anybody? Okay, not hearing anything. I would like to, I'm going to just do it. I would like to move the, I would like to make a motion to continue the public hearing on section 3.1 Lake Pocatello Park Protection Zone updates. Do I have a second?
Second. Second.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor and a second. Any comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? I would then, that's so moved. Okay, I would like to continue the application of the updates to section 3.1 Lake Pocatello Prague Protection Zone to our next regularly scheduled meeting where we will move the question. I'll move the motion. Move the application. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second it.
Kevin.
Okay, I have a second from Kevin. Any comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any abstentions? Any nays? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. We're going to go to 6A, local para, which is a preliminary discussion for a modification to the building. I see the applicant has been here and waiting patiently. So could you please identify yourself and give us an address for the record?
I'm Elizabeth Wiltsey. I'm the property owner at 191 East High Street, where Loco Pero is situated.
Okay, just for clarification, the application, is this for a modification of the existing building or is this for a new building?
Existing.
Okay. Between yourself and Jeremy, could you please just give us an idea of what you are trying to do on this property?
Well, the main portion is we've owned the restaurant for 20 years and we need to make the kitchen larger because our business has grown and we've been wanting to do it for a while and now we feel this is the time to make that kitchen larger.
Okay, so what are you planning on doing?
What do we plan on doing?
You're going to bump it out somehow? You want to bump it out?
Well, go ahead, Tasso.
Yes, we bump it out on the back side of the building, where's the entry of the banquet room. That way give us a room to update and modernize the 2 bathrooms they have down in the banquet room and give us the room inside to make our kitchen a little bigger so we can produce the food faster and more efficient.
Okay, I see it up on the screen here. Are you adding any more tables?
No.
So I've got the site plan up on the screen. I also have floor plan schematics that I can show everybody when you're ready to look at those.
Okay, are
You can see
you,
the gray is the
changing parking?
existing and the hashed is the proposed addition.
Okay, sorry to walk all over you, Jeremy. Are you adding or subtracting any parking?
No, the parking would stay the same.
On that back side of that parking, is there any room to expand there or no?
Yes. Yes, because one part of the building already comes out that far, and we'd be adding on to the very back of the building. And it would not come out as far as the existing part. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, no, we could tell from the picture, I guess.
Okay, okay.
Quickly, it looks, we get the point there. But I was just wondering about the parking in the back there. I know you're not looking to do anything at this point, but is there a way that you can expand that if you wanted to down the road?
We might be able to put, I don't know, in the back.
As our architect talked to us, we can put
They
one.
can't see what you're doing.
Oh, we can put one in the back corner, where exactly back there.
Okay.
And then if you come up in the front, as we coming into the restaurant, there's the empty lot where we can put another 4 or 5 parking spaces on that spot.
Okay, that's cool. Because I think that, you know, that would be helpful.
Very helpful.
The people that frequent there.
Yeah. I mean,
Anybody
that's
else have
certainly,
anything on this particular print before we go to the inside?
I didn't hear the first part of that.
Any members of the commission have any questions on this particular print that's in front of us before we go to the inside?
Yes. Question is any preliminary talks from Chatham Health District, fire marshal, or any of those things going to be covered in the next presentation?
Yes, the next presentation is gonna have everything from the, it is, we have already the health department permit, and we do not gonna do any change in the kitchen hood or where's the intake cave. So I don't know if that we need anything from the fire marshal.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Are you looking to have a second floor on there too, or no? Is that just going to be one floor?
No, it's where's the addition is the second floor is coming the stairs, so our employees, they can come up.
Okay.
I'll flip over to the building plans so you can all see those.
Now, which is the addition, Jeremy?
So the addition is this area here. So this is let's see. I just want to make sure I'm in the right spot here. Right. So lower level. This is the lower level here. The existing building is the thick gray outline.
Yeah.
And then the new addition is this rectangle down here. So this is the existing banquet room.
Yeah.
Kitchen area in the corner, in the back here, storage area. And then this area over here is the stairs. Some additional coolers, I think, Tasso, so you guys can correct me if I'm wrong as I'm going through here, but I just using my cursor. Entry to the banquet room, 2 new bathrooms, a small foyer area, and then into the banquet room from there.
Yes.
So that's the lower level, and then the upper level, existing dining area, bar area, bathrooms remain. And then this is again the staircase coming up from downstairs, and then additional storage and refrigeration and cooling space here.
And to the right of that, that's the basement, or that's the kitchen, but there's nothing upstairs, nothing up top.
Correct. Yeah, it's actually the lobby and part of the bathroom downstairs.
Okay. So if they wanted to, could they structurally, could they add something on top of that empty space, if you will?
You'd have to ask the architect that question.
I would think that you would want to structure that, that way in case you wanted to do something, but
No, we don't looking to put anything else on the second floor. We want only to be as a place where our wait staff, they can put their food or stuff like that. So we do not plan to put anything more on the top.
But I mean, if you wanted to in the future, I don't know if structurally, when you build, since you're building the lower level, you may want to just, well, you could put something up top if you wanted to.
Is that a room? This is where's the bathrooms, and then it's gonna be nothing on the top.
Okay.
Okay, any more comments or questions from the commission? Okay, I have just about everything answered for myself. Anything else from the commission on this?
Yes, just one more question.
Go ahead, Michael.
Are you removing an existing staircase to build this addition, or?
Yes.
Yes.
That the removal of the existing staircase is where the kitchen will be expanded.
Okay, that makes
and
sense.
then moving the staircase to the back.
Okay.
That was really the most economical way to expand the kitchen, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when are you planning to get this moving? Your preliminary goals on that?
As soon as we can.
Yes.
We're
Okay.
waiting for, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, with that, if nobody else has any further questions, we'll go on to the old business. Thank you, and I guess are you going to have an application to us within the next couple of months?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We look forward to seeing you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the preliminary. We do appreciate that.
Yes, very helpful.
Thank you for letting us present that.
You're welcome. Okay, we're going to move on to 7A, a 824 review, acceptance of Salmon Run Phase 3 Road, Deer Meadow. I think we have a couple of outstanding issues on that, don't we, Jeremy?
Correct. We're waiting for as-built surveys. We're waiting for deeds to be reviewed. We're waiting for monumentation to be complete. So I'd like to push this to next month.
Okay, we don't have to do anything other than put it on the agenda next month.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, then we're going to go on to, let's see, it's 8:30. A7C, discussion, update the sign regulation to include the POR zone to sign standards. Jeremy, what do we have to do next month? I don't see very much on the agenda for next month, other than this.
No, it'll just be Atlantis. Yeah, that's it.
If it is all right with the commission, I would like to continue then the discussion on the sign regulation and the home-based occupations. I don't know how the rest of the commission feels about that.
I'm fine with it.
That's fine.
Fine.
I'm fine with that.
Then what we'll do is we'll move 7C and D to the our next regularly scheduled meeting, Jeremy. And then E, updates to the official East Hampton zoning map. I know we have the Atlantis that we're talking about, which is a potential zone change. That's what they're coming in front of us for. So I guess we don't really want to update the map this month.
Right. We'll wait until the Atlantis decision comes through, and then once that's done, I'll clean up the map. If anything needs to be changed, we'll get it in front of you, and we'll get it approved after that.
If that's all right with the commission, we'll just move that to 7E.
Sounds good.
It's easier. Anybody object to that?
No.
Now, what was it you're thinking of? What is up in the air that needs to be changed?
If you go back to 5E.
Oh, okay, I know. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll move that to our next regularly scheduled meeting. I did promise this. Anybody from the public wish to say anything, if you could unmute them, Jeremy, be happy to hear any concerns from the public at this time.
Yep, there's one caller left. The line is unmuted on this end. They just need to unmute themselves.
If you wish to say anything, otherwise we will move on. Okay. Planners report.
I really don't have anything to report on right now. We talked about 108 Main Street. That's an ongoing thing. I don't have any major things to discuss. I think we've done a lot of discussion tonight. I think I'm good.
Okay. With that, I don't think we have any public hearings for October 7th. Is that correct, Jeremy?
I would agree. Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
We don't have to set any public hearings. So for next month, if we could be prepared to discuss Atlantis marketing, anything else that might come our way, as well as the items at 7C, D, and potentially E. We'll have to see how that goes. With that, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Me, so moved.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you all for being here. See you next month.
Enjoy Labor Day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.